Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. I hope guys are doing well. This is Ms. Rockmon, live and direct from beautiful Montego Bay, Jamaica. Wagwan. I am. I put this video together or this stream. What I'm gonna talk about. So bear with me. I haven't written anything down in a little minute, so I don't have a lot of notes and stuff. But like graphs and stats and stuff, but I had to talk about it. Larry Elder, y'all know he just he does something to me, not good. Just so you guys remember? Okay, let's start from just a little background about this fatherless epidemic, alleged fatherless epidemic, and I've been talking about it more, maybe in the past, I guess year. I've been talking about it because it doesn't exist. Now, I say that because they've been pushing it for many years. I mean, even longer than the welfare, the welfare state, and LBJ, and everything like that. This goes the fatherless um, epidemic or whatever you want to call it. It's old, like 1900 old, 1890s old. But they really start going hard on it during LBJ's presidency and the new society and everything, like what they're talking about now during the Republican debates and things like that. So the candidates are going hard. Larry Elder is no stranger to talking about this fatherless epidemic. I call it the fatherless hustle, similar to the child support hustle, because it's a money grab, and this is deeper than the money grab because it's racist. It's racist is what it is, and it's historically racist when you go back and read about where this word or this term or this epidemic, alleged epidemic, starts. But I'm not going to get all into that. That's a much longer video and much more detailed. If I want to talk about that, which I will. But this one was just about Mr. Elder, because he's just a hot mess. If y'all ever just go and look at this dude, like he's something else. So if you guys remember, a couple weeks ago he went on the Breakfast Club, and he allegedly, because I didn't watch the whole thing, my sister sent it to me. Shout out E. And he was into it, with not into it, but a little back and forth about this fatherlessness, and him and one of the hosts' name is Charlemagne the God, and he thought he ate and got with Charlemagne, so he posted that the interview. I mean, he posted he posted this video so much, y'all. Y'all would think that he bested like the whole United Nations. Like, I mean, he thought he ate so hard, and that's all you see on his Twitter, on his Facebook. Like, that's he. I mean, he thought he just did the most. So if y'all, I'm gonna see when I get finished with this, I'll go back and put like some links in there so y'all can go back and see. So I'm like, bless his little heart. He thought he did the most, and he really didn't. Because the thing about this fatherless epidemic, um, when you look at how they break it down, when they try to support the reasoning behind this, it's all old data. It's all old talking points. Everything is the same. They don't use anything new when they try to support why the epidemic is uh, realistic. They go all the way back to 1965, which there's a reason for that. The reason is because of the uh, LBJ and the welfare state and everything like that. But there's really there's really no validity to what they're saying, other than they claim that back then the two-parent homes were a lot, the number was greater back in 1965 than it is now, which is true, but there's a lot of factors that go into that, why there were more married Black families than there are now. So that's what they stand up on. Back then it was 70%. Now it's 25% or whatever the number is. It's never anything different. It's always about the two-parent home versus the single-parent home. But that does not make a fatherless child. And so if you pay attention from now on, when you hear Larry Elder and Tim Scott, and I believe at one time Candace Owens was talking about it, and it's all the people, and they always say the same things, but it's always targeted towards the Black community. So Elder, after he did his after he did his run around with the Breakfast Club that he was so proud of, I haven't seen that for him to be, who he claims to be and have all these followers, and then he didn't get invited to the Republican debate, and he went on and on about that, and then he got Donkey of the Day, which is something they do at the Breakfast Club. For all of that, he goes on to this podcast, and the podcast is called Higher Learning, and it's hosted by a young lady, Rachel Lindsay, and the other host is Von Lathan, Lathen. Now, the young lady, Rachel, she's an attorney. I got this from her Twitter page. It's at Rachel Lindsay, if you want to look her up, and at Von Lathan. So this attorney, Rachel Lindsay, she she asked Elder, which this is a profound question. Hey, Doc, I think everybody should ask this question when you see people online or just anywhere, and they're complaining about the condition of anything. If you see somebody complaining about child support, if you see somebody complaining about taxes, if you see somebody complaining about anything, potholes in the road, I don't know, ask them what they're doing about it. What are you doing to change that condition? And that's what this young lady, Rachel, no disrespect, I'm not going to call her Miss Lindsay. I'm either going to call her Rachel or Lindsay. So Lindsay asked Elder, quote, what have you done to combat fatherlessness in the Black community, end quote. Fair question. Elder takes a fake sip. You know how somebody gets nervous or they on TV, you mostly see it on TV, takes some fake sip where he about to either lie or bullshit or do both. This sip was, he didn't drink nothing. It was barely a tip of the cup. He comes back and he says, let me say this first. Now he's running for president of the United States of America. And he's been all over the place, not just during his campaign, but for years, talking about this fatherless epidemic. So that's a fair question for this young lady to ask, what has he done? Because he's been talking about it for so long. So he doesn't start off with a list. So I came up with just a few things that he could have said that I would think would be beneficial if there was, and if there wasn't. So he could have said how he mentors young fathers on how to be active in their children's lives if they don't live in the household with their children. He could have said he offered grants to pay for parenting classes if, that warranted such a event that they needed that. And Mr. Elder is an attorney himself. So he could have offered his services to litigate for these fathers to go to court and get shared parenting. That's always a need in these situations, especially how family court is set up with shared parenting being denied, these child support orders being too high, all this kind of stuff. He could have offered so many things if he was really about combating fatherless, this fatherless epidemic. So Mr. Elder, after he takes this fake sip, he responds by asking Lindsay if she, quote, is accepting that we have a problem with fatherlessness in the Black community, end quote. Both hosts instantly denied that they accepted that. They didn't accept that. And pressed him for an answer, and he never gave one. He never gave an answer to what he did, used to do to fix the problem. So why are you talking about it on every station, everywhere, all the time, and you have not lifted one finger to help? And that's just not just Elder. That's all across the board. Now, and we're not talking about, like I said earlier, we're not just talking about in the last 2 years or the last even 10 years. They're going back to LBJ. Tim Scott today had the audacity, and he's not the first one, to compare, hey Quan, to compare the welfare state to slavery. And that was more harmful, welfare, getting a couple dollars in the mail, it wasn't much, to 400 and something years of slavery. And we know how damaging, we've heard how damaging that was to people. I'm not going to say Black people or white people or brown people or what, to people, period. When you take race out of it, to human beings, period. And they have the audacity to compare the two, getting some benefit, getting a check, to slavery. It's just astonishing that you can stand on the stage and get praised for doing it. So I just listed just a few off the top of my head that he could do. He has money, he has 1 million followers. He could even get the people that's following him. If you're in the town that you live in, can you mentor? Can you, just so many things. That's so many, not just him, so many people. DeSantis down there, so busy trying to erase Black history. He passed the bill down there a couple years ago. I have a video because I talked about it, where he put some millions. It wasn't significant, not with this epidemic, it was not any money, towards, something that wasn't even necessary. It didn't do anything because there was nothing to do. All they would have to do if they really want to combat this epidemic is let fathers have access to their children. Right now, they don't put visitation. Now I'm talking specifically about Title 4D child support cases, and that's welfare cases, for low income people. Those are whole different cases. So when they establish these child support cases, and that's who these people are talking about, they're talking about welfare dependent people, targeting Black people. That's the dog whistle. So these low income welfare recipients go and put their significant other or their child's father on child support. Well, visitation is not included in that. So why not put that in a bill? Why not change that so it's all included? And guess who tried to do that? Former President Barack Obama in 2013 in his budget. And guess who blocked it? The GOP. The GOP. They blocked it. So now instead of it being mandatory, it's a strong recommendation for the states. So they don't have to do it. So these fathers don't have access to their children, but you want to call them the children fatherless and not give them access and then complain without lifting a finger that we have a fatherless epidemic. How does that make any sense? You can't make sense out of bullshit. And then Tim Scott is sitting on the stage, y'all, getting praised. You know, that took a lot of guts for him to say that about the black people and, you know, how detrimental welfare was. And, you know, what it took a lot of guts to say what? Bullshit. I can go stand on a corner or stand anywhere and say some bullshit. That don't take no guts. It just doesn't. And they just feed into it. They just feed into it. But I want y'all to really pay attention to when they say this stuff. See if they bring up anything new. They won't. They bring up, oh, they traded welfare for putting the father out of the house. That's a lie. It's a lie. By the time what they're talking about, by the time that happened, where that's another conversation. I'm gonna get into it, but it's all lies. And I'm so surprised so many black people buy that shit just on what they put out. It's minimal. We all seen the same videos saying the same things, and we hear the same talking points. It's never anything other than the same shit. And we are all, well, I'm not. And there's some other people that don't buy it. If you just read below the surface, go just a little bit deeper than the Moynihan racist report, just a little bit deeper, you'll see. It's not, I mean, they've been lying about shit. Now they trying to erase the shit. And they on a Republican stage telling more, because Thomas Sowell, he one of the people that started it. So now they on the main stage talking about slavery was better than fucking welfare. And I'm just gonna say this, then I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be finished with this video because I can't get my notes back up. So I'll just start like, can y'all believe this? And can y'all? And I don't want to do that because then I have to cut the video, and that's just time consuming. But can y'all? Oh shoot, I lost what I was about to say. But that's the type of thing that they got going on. They're on the main stage. Oh, my point. So when they say and compare that slavery was more beneficial, or there was more two-parent families and all that kind of stuff, and LBJ passed the welfare state, and the but it ruined stuff because black folks had this going on and that going on, and then he came and ruined it. If black folks had it going on so great, why did he have to pass a bill to get people out of poverty? If black people had it going on so wonderfully, why was an anti-poverty bill necessary? Because they weren't. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. Stop letting these people lie to y'all. If y'all believe in it, somebody else say, what? No, I don't believe that. I'm not talking to you. If you don't believe that, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that sit up there and say welfare. They took the fathers out the house for a welfare check. I'm talking to you. Look below the surface. The people that's in charge are not known for telling the truth. Black women ain't putting their men out the house now for a welfare check. We might hide them. We might hide them. Hey, baby, they at the door. You gotta get your stuff. You gotta get out. We ain't putting. You think they was putting them out then? Back then, when they was sticking dogs on them, when they was killing them, lynching them, you think they was giving up their men black? Y'all don't make sense. But I'm gonna get more into it, y'all. I'm ready to talk about it now. Of course, I'm almost finished with my book. It took longer because the research. It was so much information there. It was oh, I just loved it. But I'm wrapping it up, and it's gonna be here a little bit longer than I thought, but it's gonna be so worth it because y'all can take everything I write to the bank. Y'all know I like the research. So that's it for me. I appreciate y'all being here and continue supporting me. I hope I done lost a lot of people because I'm speaking differently. I guess they thought I was going to talk about child support forever, but no, I'm more than just child support. But still, I'm still going to bring the ism. And if you want to read any of my information, child support related, you can visit my website, thechildsupporthustle.com. If you want to contact me directly, you can email me, cshustle, the number one at gmail.com. You could call me. I don't answer usually, but you can always text me, 614-344-1669. I don't work on individual cases at this time. I might start after I finish my book because I know there's a lot of questions out there, but I just don't have time to work on cases. They take a lot of time because everybody has individual needs, issues, and things like that. But if I can point you in the right direction with your case or something like that, then I have no problem. Something I can do really quickly. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And that's about it. Keep your head up. I know these are some crazy times. Like it's just insane, but keep your head up and always fight for your rights. That's what's important. Read to your kids. Don't let these people tell them nothing different. Even when they go to school, find out what they learning at school and let them know, or just stay on them because they get their kids and tell them something totally different than what you telling them, and you got a confused person. So we got to do our job as parents, grandparents, everything like that. Don't let them get them because they plot on our kids. They plot on our community. They do that and then blame us. They've been doing it for a long time. And like I said, if it's not you, if I'm not, then I'm not talking to you. Every message is not for everybody. So, all right, guys, y'all say take care, stay tuned, drop your girl a couple dollars or whatever if you like my content. So yeah, all right, fight the power.